Sleep problems are common at the menopause and are exacerbated by vasomotor symptoms such as night sweats. Understanding how menopause impacts various aspects of health is crucial for creating a supportive workplace. This podcast episode, brought to you by the European Menopause and Andropause Society, features Professor Tommaso Simoncini addressing the common sleep problems associated with menopause and their connection to vasomotor symptoms. Let's dive into today's discussion.
Dear friends, my name is Tommaso Simoncini. I am professor of obstetrics and gynecology at the University of Pisa in Italy. I'm the current president of the International Society of Gynecological Endocrinology and the past president of the European Menopause and Andropause Society. Very glad to be here today to speak in this short podcast about how sleep is a problem after menopause. Why is it a problem? So we all know that menopause, with all the changes in hormonal levels, particularly with the loss of the production of estrogens and progesterone, because the ovaries stop producing these hormones, then this creates a number of issues, of problems in a woman's life. Some of the problems that depend on the loss of these key steroid hormones stay in how the brain works. There's entire areas of the brain which are influenced. They are dependent on the presence and on the levels of estrogens and progesterone. One of the well-known areas is actually the hypothalamus. It's an area in the brain which controls a lot of functions in a woman's body. One of the key functions that is controlled by the brain, by the hypothalamus in particular, is the control of body temperature. And you all understand quite well that many women undergoing menopause and after menopause experience events that represent heavy sweats, hot flashes, so events of vasodilatation in the upper part of the trunk and in the face, such that they have this feeling of intense heat. These are the so-called hot flashes or night sweats, and they depend on the variations of the levels of estrogens and progesterone at the time of menopause. So, why is this relevant for sleep? Sleep is very much influenced by the incidence of these hot flashes. Many women experience these flashes and these sweats during night. It's very common to hear from women that they wake up all of a sudden during the night because they feel this intense sensation of heat. They're all sweat, they're wet because of the sweating intensity. So they have to get the covers out of the way, and then they all of a sudden start shivering, and they go from feeling heat to feeling cold, and then they have to recover themselves with the blankets, with the sheets. And this disrupts their sleep. So, the sleep disruption is one of the immediate consequences of experiencing hot flashes at night. Those women who have intense and repetitive hot flashes and sweats during the night, they have a complete disruption of sleep. You can imagine how this can be disruptive in terms of quality of life, quality of sleep, resting ability, and how this can be disruptive on the ability of these persons to cope with the challenges of an everyday's life. These are persons in their 50s most often. They have very often intense days at work and social lives as well. So the inability of resting, so not being able to rest sufficiently, is an incredible disruptor of their ability to do all these things. And this has an impact in their social life, in their working life, in their partnership with a partner. So it's very important. But sleep is not just disrupted at menopause because women sweat. There's a lot of women who don't significantly experience hot flashes or night sweats, but nonetheless, they still have a sleep quality which is less good than before. Why is that? That is because the hypothalamus in itself controls the quality of sleep, and the arrangement in the levels of things like neurotransmitters and neurohormones that happens at the time of menopause because of the hormonal changes of menopause also disrupts the ability of reaching those phases of sleep, like the rapid eye movement sleep phase, which is the deepest phase in our sleep, which is actually more rewarding in terms of being able to clean our mind, clean our brain, rest, and feeling more rested in the morning. So one of the consequences of menopause is not just waking up, is also having a sleep quality which is impaired, and that provides less ability to be more relaxed in the day afterwards. But there's actually more than that. Many person experience also gain in weight at the time of menopause, and this is also in part a consequence of the metabolic impact of menopause. And weight gain is particularly concentrated in women in the abdominal area. So many women see their fat being increased and particularly concentrated in the abdominal area, which is a more of a male-like type of fat accumulation. And this is very important because if the weight gain is significant, this increases the likelihood of experiencing sleep apnea syndrome. Sleep apnea are events where the breathing ability during the night is impaired. There's moments during the night where a person becomes apnoic, so she stops breathing for a few seconds. And this is very dangerous because this is accompanied by heavy consequences in terms of respiratory and cardiovascular fitness and performance, and is one of the most established risk factors for cardiovascular disease, and is very often accompanied by high blood pressure. So this is relevant. Some women actually may also experience some less known phenomena. Some of you might have heard about restless leg syndrome. The restless leg syndrome is a situation where the legs are particularly sensitive, and sensations like burning, itching, or cramps develop issue at night when a person goes to sleep, and they very often are so intense that the person experiencing this type of condition needs to move the legs restlessly, and this conflicts with the ability of falling asleep or keeping the sleep going. And this condition is very much associated with menopause, and is one of the less known changes in sleep quality in some persons undergoing menopause. So to conclude, I hope I've been able to transfer you some key or main reasons why menopausal women might experience troubles in sleeping. And the troubles in sleeping are not trivial. They should be taken into account. They should be referred to physicians, to the gynecologists mostly, because they might be improved by physical approaches, lifestyle, and also by hormonal treatments, which could be able to offset the consequences of the menopausal transition on this very important phenomena. Very glad for having had the chance for being with you, and I hope this was useful.